Like if you're comparing me to maybe, I don't know, Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh,
Maybe it's
how about this dude? How about this dude?
Maybe it's possible.
Do you know this dude? Because I'm familiar with him. I think that's the Diesel right there.
Hey, first of all, cousin Jermaine, first cousin. If you're gonna give me a link that work.
Come on,
What?
Jay. Come on, Jay.
Link didn't work.
Okay, no, I lied. I was watching my main man go off from Kansas.
Okay, say that, Big. Don't say that I gave you some bad information.
Yeah,
don't do that. Okay.
Well, no, the reason that bothers me is because I gave him the link. So if
okay, you know what? I apologize. I was, he told me 9:15, but I'm watching Little Man go crazy.
That dude from Kansas State. He nice.
Yeah, he is nice.
He really nice, no doubt.
Big,
what up, cousin?
How you doing? I think the difference for him in this game is the last game he won by score, and this game he won by distributing. So
nice.
He did a really good job. My only concern though is at the next level, he may be a little too small.
At 5'8", yeah, that's definitely going to be a problem. So you guys know, H. This is my cousin Shaq.
Cousin.
This is my first cousin. I'm sorry, this is my first cousin Shaq. Big. This is my man Tone over here. This is my other homegirl H. Hailey. H. My cousin Shaq.
Let me tell you about cousin Jermaine.
There we go.
Yeah. Give us a dirt.
Never asked me for a ticket to a game, but would be at the games on the road. And like he would always wait for me to have 2 bad games in a row. He'd show up on that 3rd bad game. I don't know how he'd get in. I'd be sitting there and he'd be, am I allowed to use bad words on this?
Yeah, why not?
Do your thing.
He'd say like, hey man, you out here bullshitting 22 points. You getting 22 points? Like he would have all my stats.
What you doing, yo?
He'd be.
I flew all the way to Portland for this.
Yeah.
What the hell is this?
But the crazy thing is he never called me asking for tickets, but would be in the building and have great seat. I'm like, how you get in? Don't worry about that. You out there bullshitting right now. Last game you had 19 points, 7 rebounds. Come on now. Pick this shit up. Pick it up. So I wanted to thank you, cousin Jermaine, for helping me get 3 championships in a row.
Hey man, I do what I can, Big. I do what I can.
Good for you, because I would have been calling you up for a ticket every night.
No, man.
Yeah, no, Jay's not like that. How'd you get in though? Give us.
Are you gonna tell us how you got in now?
All right, so this is actually G14 classified information. I really shouldn't even be giving this information.
Well, you don't do it anymore, right?
Yeah, I don't. But the idea was to make sure that he was focused, because if he saw me early, the focus would go somewhere else. That's why when I show up, now he knows, yo, get on your job. So if he heard me like 2 days before that, yo, I'm gonna be in San Antonio, or I'm gonna be in Utah, then he's prepared mentally for me, as opposed to 2 hours before the game, I show up. No, he's now like, okay, I got to get on my job because my cousin here. So I got to make sure that I'm
one thing about Jermaine, he don't care about all that. If you don't do what you're supposed to do and more, because you know how we were raised. Let's just say you get 30 points in the game, but you missed 10 shots. If you'd have made them 10 shots, you'd have had 40. That's how our family is. It's sort of like, I know people don't believe in the word perfection, but our family always wanted us to play at the top and above. So,
especially if you could do it. If you could do it. And he could do it. And he could do it. So I didn't expect anything less from him.
Speaking of can do it, next time you're trying to say people are as dominant as me, don't do that. Don't even ask the question. I'm not gonna say no names. I ain't gonna disrespect nobody.
I'll say it.
No.
So
I didn't say that. No.
Okay. Out of respect for my cousin. I respect for the guys that's playing now. Mm-hmm. We're not going to have this conversation. Like, people always tell me, Jermaine used to tell me, yo, you could be the best player in the league. I never wanted to be the best player in the league. I wanted to be the most dominant in the league. So, you talk about all these categories, and let's just quite frankly say I wish I would have listened to him more. I'm a little bit jealous that I'm not in the greatest player of all time conversation, but that's fine. I got my own category, and there's only a few players that got their own category. For example, Steph Curry, best shooter in the world. Who's in that category? Ray Allen, maybe a Reggie Miller, Dame Lillard, you got to put in that category. Most dominant, in my opinion, it's only 2, myself and Wilt. Greatest big man ever, that's another category. I'm also in that category. You got David Robinson, you got Akeem, you got a Patrick.
You got guys like that. I was never in the greatest player of the game category, and I'm okay with that. But my category, I don't like y'all just throwing people in my category. Don't do that to me. All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Big. So Big, what I wanted to ask, what I wanted to say to you, Big, was when you showed up in the league, right? When you showed up, and you might have just answered this, but I want to dive into it just a little bit more. When you showed up in the league, you show up in the league in a big man littered league during a big man era, where the game was centered around the big man. When you show up, what's your focus and what's your attitude when you show up?
I talk about this with players now. You talk about how good. Let's just say you talk about how good a guy is in college, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember our Uncle Jerome told us, it's not what you're doing in college, what you're going to do when you get to the league. So, for example, when I came in, I was probably the 6th, 7th best center. Think about what I'm saying. You have Patrick Ewing, you have David Robinson, you got Rick Smits, you got Akeem Olajuwon. So I'm already, no matter what I did in college, I'm still number 6. Right. So now I got to work my way up. And Jermaine, we grew up watching those karate movies, and we come from certain areas that when you want something, you go take it.
Yeah.
But my thing was to make sure they know who I am, and I'm coming for that spot.
Yeah.
What made me different is I like to use jealousy as motivation. Like if I see you guys doing the podcast, I'm not gonna hate and be like, "Oh, that's my cousin." If it wasn't for me, he wouldn't have got the equipment. I'm just gonna find me a guy, find me a good-looking girl, do a podcast, and then we coming at y'all. Right. That's all I'm saying. But because I saw how successful y'all was, caused me to get jealous and caused me to say, you know what, I'm gonna use this for motivation. So, you look at all these guards in college. I asked the question, like for example, Scoot Henderson. I like Scoot, but is he gonna do that against Russ? Is he gonna do that against Banchero? Is he gonna do that against Shea Gilgeous-Alexander? We shall see. I wish him well, but that was a very valuable lesson for me. So, but again, I just want to make my name notice and, put a mark because, they said that I couldn't do certain things. That didn't do nothing but motivate me. And Jermaine knew that. And he would come and be like, man, you ain't nothing. You ain't nothing. He kill it. And then don't let a guy score a couple points on me. Jermaine and run behind the bench. Greg Ostertag killing your ass, big. You out there bullshitting.
If I gotta watch, if I gotta watch Dwight Howard jump hook you one more time, me and you gonna be in the back. We're gonna be fighting. I'm telling you that right now. If I gotta watch him jump hook that
we'll fight too.
We're gonna be in the back fighting right now. What are you doing, Big? What's going on? Absolutely. So
it's funny because you mentioned dominant, and you're most dominant player clearly. But when you say dominant, does that, because there's a lot of conversation about fear. So do you feel that your dominance struck fear? And when you hear people say like Jordan, Kobe, people were feared them and not LeBron, do you find that to be true? Or do you think those two things are separate?
Well, let me answer the other question. Did I invoke fear? Yes. Not only in the player, in the league. Man, we got to call 3 seconds all the time. Man, we got to, you can't let them just score and dunk. So we're going to allow them to front and back. We're going to change. Like they used to change the rules on me every summer. Like I come in and be like, now they got the front and back defense doing this. Now, fear. People throw that word a lot. It's not like you're scared of a player, but you know that if you don't bring your A game, they're going to embarrass you. Nobody wants to get embarrassed. So I would like to change the word to just really put on notice. I wasn't scared of Mike, but I was a little bit terrified when you walk into that Chicago arena and Mike come off that baseline and hit that first jumper and the crowd go crazy. It wasn't like, oh, I'm scared. It's just like, okay, this, he's real. Especially for kids like us who have his poster in his room and now we on the court with him and you see him in real life. You're like, this guy's really got. Yeah. But I think Richard Jefferson on one of those guys made an interesting point. Michael was coming at you with the killer attitude. LeBron is more of a all-around player. He'll get you involved. He can take over games when possible. Because I always ask the question now that LeBron is the leading scorer in the league. Does that make him the greatest player ever? I don't have an answer. I just like asking questions, and I pose this question to the panel. Because you always say, oh, he's not Mike. Well, if he's not Mike, how come he passed Mike up? If he's not all these guys, how come he passed them all up in, statistical categories? So I love asking that question. Especially in the barbershop, especially among the homeboys, and you get different answers. But me, I would say if you're on the block and the guy sells a certain amount of what-you-calls, and then we surpass him up, that will make us the biggest. Yes. Doesn't matter he did this, different area and that. So I like hearing the answers, but
I wish I was also in that category. I wish I was healthy enough and wouldn't have missed all those games to be able to pass Kareem up in points. Because honestly speaking, when I would have passed Wilt Chamberlain up in points, I was going to arrogantly say I'm the most dominant big man ever, and I don't want to hear nobody.
Used to say that to me all the time. He would say that to me. He would say, H, he would say that to me all the time. Jermaine, wait till I pass Chamberlain. Jermaine, when I pass Chamberlain, you ain't gonna tell me nothing. I don't want to hear nothing out of you.
No argument. Yeah.
He would say that to me all the time.
And I feel that way already, but I got to tell you, Jermaine doesn't even know the story yet. So go ahead.
Both of y'all be quiet and let this beautiful young lady get her question in. Don't bully this lady.
Thank you. Well, no. Fluent, you can go ahead, and then I do have a question for you, though.
Go ahead. You first.
Go ahead, H.
Yes.
All yours, there.
All right, go for it. Okay.
Yes.
It's an honor to meet you, Shaq.
Thank you.
So you mentioned those two. You mentioned Scoot Henderson, also another young one coming in, Vic, who is going to be big time for sure. Is there any player in the league right now that you can see yourself in, whether it's in their game, in their mentality, or even in off the court in their business ventures? Is there anybody you see or have seen?
Not really. The game is different.
Yeah.
Its era is different. The way they play is different. That's why I kind of get upset when you guys throw the word dominant around. Like, I did what I did with 3-4 people on me every night. Like, just because a guy putting up, certain points or doing whatever or bullying people around, it may make him down. Like, and Jermaine told me this the other day. I got to stop trying to compare everybody to my league and my era. Maybe I have to loosen up a little bit, but
not the same thing.
Me, dominant to me is we got 3 guys on this guy. We can't stop him. We're gonna let the world know we can't stop him. Oh, he can't shoot free throws. We're gonna let the world know before the game starts. We're gonna foul him every time he gets in the paint. He may hit him, he may not. But to me, dominance is people have to change the rules. And I love all the players they got now, but I wouldn't use the word dominant. I would use very good. I would use great.
Yeah, absolutely.
You should know you made an entire basketball team question whether they should stop playing basketball.
Yes, that was me.
And Nita, you don't know the story, but I'm going to tell you, you were playing for Orlando. Mm-hmm. You were in Phoenix for a game against the Suns, and it was early on in your career, obviously, because you were in Orlando. And you came in, and it was either right before your shoot around or after. And my team was sitting there. My high school team was sitting there, and you came and gave us all kind of high fives, dapped us up. You were wearing a 49ers jacket. It was the size of my house. And you shook our hands, and your fingers came up to like here on me. And I'm not a small dude. I'm 6'3", 250. So, but your hands came up to here. We all went, if that's what players in the NBA are like, I don't think we have a shot. That being said, we're trying to convince Jay here. Should we do this now, Jay? Are you ready for this?
Oh no.
Jay doesn't.
You know it was coming, H.
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
So the chats we have super chats for him, but. Mm-hmm. I have Kobe in my top 5. Jay, your cousin, doesn't have him in the top 10. Is it worth the conversation?
That's a little blasphemous.
Now remember, before you answer this, cousin. Remember that we're talking about a time when the big man, right? The game, how he was raised.
Before I cut you off, let me hear your top 10. Go ahead.
James, Jordan, Jabbar, Chamberlain, Russell. Magic, Bird, Duncan, Olajuwon, you. James, Jordan, Jabbar, Chamberlain, Russell. Magic, Bird, Duncan, Olajuwon, you.
So you put LeBron over Kobe?
I do.
Why is that?
I don't think he did nothing better than Kobe, except shoot free throws. I don't think Brian did nothing better than Kobe except shoot free throws. Nothing.
That's your opinion. I totally disagree. I think Michael Jordan was perfection, right?
Right.
Who was the closest thing next to Mike?
But he wasn't that though. I mean, he was a carbon copy of Jay, but he wasn't as good as Jay.
If you're the closest thing to perfection, what does that make you? Pretty fucking good.
It makes you closer to perfection, only except this dude, with that also being said, this dude, with all of the stuff that he had to go through, how many times he could have folded, not only folded, how many times he came back better, just like you. How many times you could have folded when you squandered or when you were in the playoffs and didn't do what you needed to do. You could have folded, only except you came back better. Not only did you come back better, you came back even more dominant and basically shook the league and destroyed the league. There's a generation of kids that don't know the NBA Finals without LeBron James. There are teams that are put together, like when you were running around, that were put together to stop you and you only. That's the same thing that's going on with James. And with that being said, this guy, he surpassed all expectations, just like you being the number 1 overall pick and living up to the hype. This dude did the same thing, improved every year. Not only improved every year,
right, give me your top 5 2 guards.
Oh, it's Jordan, Bryant, Wade, Drex. I don't have James Harden in my top 5 because I don't think he's a 2 guard. I think he's more of a combo guard. I think that same thing with Steph Curry.
Good thing about these conversations, everybody's gonna have their different opinion.
Right.
I always thought it was disrespectful that, you can compare whoever you want, but the fact that Kobe's name was never mentioned when you talk about the great, I thought that was a little disrespectful.
Here's the thing. And again, Big, I got him at 11. I don't have him at 17. I don't have him at 19. I got him at 11. Right out. I only think 10 players in NBA history are better than him. That's it. Not 16, not 20, just 10.
And there's going to be a lot of people that disagree with you.
Of course it is. That's what I got to deal with all the time, especially from this dude over here and this chick right here.
First of all, she's not a chick. She's a young lady.
I'm sorry. This young lady right here. So.
Thank you.
I apologize. This young lady right here.
No, but that's why I like having these conversations. Everybody has a different opinion. And, but I definitely got him in my top 5. I definitely got him in my top 10. But.
Now remember too, Big. I'm not speaking from somebody that was on the outside. I was there when you two dudes turned into what you turned into from the beginning to what you turned into. I was there for the whole thing, right? So I saw this dude become what he became, and I was there, and I saw the same thing when you played with James. I saw him become what he became, and those two guys, when I look at them together, I think that James is better. I think the only thing
it's not that you're way off. Like you have to leave conversation like this up to opinion. You can't say deadlift shrimp is better than Kobe. Not now. You got a problem. Now you got a problem. But hey, guys are close.
I wouldn't do something like that. I wouldn't do anything ridiculous like that. No,
conversation like this is just on how you get just basically on opinion and how you feel. And I respect your opinion, but I have to respectfully disagree with you. I'm not gonna fight you on it because one, I know you ain't gonna change. So
listen, you've known him longer, but for 2 years we've been doing this show. I've been trying to get him to change. I just want him to bring him up one spot.
That's it.
If he was in the top 10, everyone would leave him alone, even though that's still wrong. Just one spot. One spot.
He gave some. You said you got Bird in your 10?
And number 7.
Yeah, Bird. Yeah, Bird got to get traded out of there, brother.
So Bird got to come out.
There you go.
Kobe got to go.
Kobe at 7, Bird at 11. There you go. We good.
Oh my God.
However, Bird was the best. Like you hear a lot of not regular people. You hear a lot of thugs, like Isaiah said and Magic say. Bird wasn't no punk.
No, he was not.
Not at all. Like he said that. Dennis Scott told me a story one time that Bird said, "Okay, rookie, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna dribble 3 times. I'm gonna pump fake. You might jump. If you don't jump after the pump fake, I'm gonna shoot it. Make sure you don't jump." And he did it. D. Scott jumped, bumped him. Wow. And he said, he said Bird was one of the craziest trash talkers in the history of the game.
And Bird was over by the time D. Scott showed him. It wasn't like he got him in his prime. Bird was over, right? And Bird was what we call. Remember when OJ said, "I'm not black, I'm OJ"? That's who Bird was. We didn't look at Bird like that. Bird was just Bird.
You know what else that pisses me off about these lists? What? You never hear Dr. J's name. That right there upsets me. Yeah. Dr. J was a bad man, and Dr. J started all this stuff that we got going on. It kind of hurts me that people don't mention him as one of the great. It really does.
Do you feel like as time goes on and we all get older, they're forgetting a lot of those, the Dr. J's, the Birds, the Moses Malone, etc.
The younger guys definitely don't know who Dr. J is, and unless you're back in our time, if you're an avid fan and watch TV, you really don't know about sports. Now you get something on your phone, like for example, I look at a lot of these dunkers that are not even late. I'm following all of them because they're doing dunks I wish I could do. They're doing dunks I know NBA players can do. So the point I'm trying to make it with the
emergence of social media,
Right.
you can get facts out about your game much quicker. But like it hurts me when I never hear Dr. J's name.
That's what we doing here too. That's what we doing here too, Shaq, because a lot of these people don't know about Doc. They don't know about Alex English. They don't know about Bernard King.
Oh,
so that's right.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. That's why I'm here, because I school a lot of these people on who these people are and how awesome they were.
She does all the schooling. I watch your show. You don't.
You already know. No, man. Jay has he's a photographic memory. This guy knows like everything. I learn every podcast.
Shaq,
you know what? We don't want to wait for rest in peace to Willis Reed. We don't want to wait for them to pass. We want people to see them and appreciate them before that happens. Like we don't want to just have that conversation after the fact.
Right.
And what's the name of this podcast?
Fluent Chill. With Playmaker Hailey.
Yep.
Playmaker Hailey?
Yeah.
That's her.
Shaq, I literally tagged you in a video 3 days ago and got no response. So I'm pretty, I don't know.
I'm just getting over BBL, aka hip surgery. So.
I wanted to ask you about that.
How
I love that you called it BBL.
That was so funny.
No, because I posted the pic that I was watching the game, and I guess people, because I don't like telling people what I'm doing all the time, so I guess people kind of over concerned. And then if you let people run imagination, it's all over the place. I heard I had liver problems and heart problems, so I just had to, okay, this is what I did. People just, we had some time off, so I had to get this hip surgery. But all the people that were concerned, thank you, but I'm doing fine.
We're glad to hear it. Listen, I don't know how much time you have. A bunch of people sent in some questions for you. Do you have a minute to do? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're just gonna start.
Also, Shaq, real quick, can I ask you, if you're allowed to say, I don't know, but what are your finals picks this season with the West being so all over the board?
I want to see Denver.
Okay.
Versus Philadelphia.
Ooh.
That's what I want to see. But Golden State scares me. The Lakers, when AD is playing like he played last night, scare me. And Philly and Milwaukee scares me. I'm not sold on Boston yet. I don't know. They're really good, but I don't want to disrespect them. But
yeah,
I like teams that you say, if all this is going correctly, they know they can't be beat. So, I think if you can get one of those two guys off in Boston, you have a chance.
I like that Philly pick for sure.
All right, the first one is just for you, Jay. If Shaq tells you you bugging. So there's no question there. But that's just.
How many times this dude told me I was bugging? Ever since we was kids, this dude told me I was bugging.
All the time.
The next one is your two sons. How are your two sons been doing in basketball?
Oh yeah.
They're working. They know they got a lot of work to do to get to the next level. Tradition in our family, we don't get baby. So no. I'm not making no calls. You want it, you gotta go work. Working pretty good. Sharif talk all the time. Sharif had a triple setback. Went to one school, coach did something, that's a setback. Went to another school, they switched coaches, that's another setback. Then he had the heart thing, so that was a setback. So he's starting to get his stuff back, and he's in the G League right now, doing well. But I just stay on him all the time, and I say, hey man, all you gotta do is work hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, well let's get Cousin in there because we know we can push him to be better, right? Right, Jay? There you go. There you go. Shaq, okay, you spoke about you and Wilt as the most dominant. So Double P wants to know prime Wilt, prime Shaq, one-on-one. He said, all due respect, he's got Wilt.
Yeah, that's fine. But you gotta, I hate when you ask a question and then you can ask sub-questions. For example, what era are we playing in?
Let's say question. Your era. Let's say with your era.
And then I'm looking at Wilt's highlights. I'm not impressed. I was a lot more hip hop, had a lot more style. I was the first dude to bring it up off a rebound with style. If you look at how Wilton brought up, they had the little tap drill. I was the first to get that thing, bring it up, cross somebody up, boom, boom, bam. I was the first to do that. So, and young Wilt, young Shaq, I'm gonna go with young Shaq. But good thing about these comments, we're all having fun, respecting each other. I respect the guy that chooses Wilt. Stuff like that doesn't get me mad. I'm happily, and by the grace of God, I'm happy to be in that conversation. Think about it. There's a lot of, you don't hear people talk about, all the other great big men. So I'm happy to be in that conversation. Like I said earlier, I wish I was in the conversation of the greatest player ever, but I guess I
mean, they talk a lot.
In our preview for tonight, one of the clips is you off the rebound. You take it coast to coast, no look.
With
style. Don't forget. Don't forget it.
That's why it's interesting, Big. You talk about like having guys being fearful of other guys. I'm thinking to myself, all right, so I remember my cousin going up against Mutombo, who said, quote, "I don't need a double. I'm going to play Shaq one-on-one." Shaq is not going up against a guy who's scared of him. He wants that guy that's not afraid of him. And that did not stop Mutombo, who wasn't scared of Shaq, from eating his lunch. So the fact that that a guy is fearful, I think that's rhetoric that people make up, and it just doesn't make sense to me.
And not only did Jermaine show up, and I didn't know he was coming, he called from different type of numbers. Because like if we get into an argument, sometimes I just don't answer the call, but I get like a 1-800 call. Hello.
Oh.
I know you heard.
6,
I know you heard me.
I know you heard that motherfucker said he gonna play you one-on-one.
I know you heard that. I know you heard it. Who this? You know who it is. What do you mean who this? You know who the hell this is. Cousin. You know who it is.
It doesn't come out often, but we have seen that side of him.
You know who it is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know who it is. Absolutely. You know who it is. So no doubt.
Whenever you don't want me on your podcast, let me know, brother.
Absolutely, Big. Absolutely,
Yeah.
Love you, Big. I'll see you soon.